Hi, I'm Sherry Vitale and I'm a school nurse with San Joaquin County Office of Education. I'm here today with Larry Origoni of Origoni Ranch in Stockton, and we're going to be talking to you about honeybees and the role that they play in pollinating his cherries. So this is Larry Origoni and this is his ranch in Stockton, and they're currently getting ready for the cherry season. So, Larry, can you tell us what role the bees play in your fruit production?
Well, bees are really essential for us. They help us pollinate our cherries and really many other fruits. They're important for almonds, for cherries, for many other kinds of fruits. Some trees don't need pollen, like walnuts. They pollinate themselves, but there's a lot of fruits and vegetables that got to have pollen or you won't have anything to eat.
All right, so these are some of the bee boxes that Origoni Ranch has delivered every year to help pollinate their cherries. How many boxes do you have out here?
We typically put 1 or 2 boxes per acre, and they seem to do the job because they're just working all the time except for when they're sleeping. Now when the days are a little bit cooler, they don't work as much because they're kind of temperature sensitive. So I'll say one thing, there are no lazy bees. Everybody's got a job. These guys, there's a queen in there, one queen, and I think there's around 50,000 per hive, and a bunch of worker bees and the drones. The drones are the workers. No, the drones go get, excuse me, cut that. Anyway, the workers, there's the queen, the workers, and the drones.
Do you ever worry about getting stung by the bees?
Well, bees usually won't mess with you unless you mess with them. If you throw a rock at that box or come by and kick the box, you're in big trouble because they want to protect the queen at all costs. And if they feel that you're a threat, they'll eliminate it or at least get you to run as fast as you can. So, and yes, I have been stung, but sometimes there are more aggressive hives than others. These seem to be pretty docile, but as you can see, we're 6 feet away and they don't seem to be bothering us too much because we're not bothering them.
They stick pretty close to the hives, but when we were driving into the orchard, I did see them flying around. So they're still busy doing their jobs.
And here's what they do. The cherries come out like this. You've probably seen cherry trees blossom before, but inside here is where the cherries are developed. And the bees need to fly into these little flowers here and move the pollen from one to the other so that you have a cherry. Without that, you don't have cherries. So now sometimes the wind does a little bit of a job too, so it's not 100% related on the bees, but they're very important. They do a lot of pollination for us.
So I noticed in your orchard, this side of the road these trees still have blossoms on them, and when we look across the way, I noticed those blossoms are all gone. So what are the different stages of your trees here?
Well, they all do the same thing, they just do it at different times. This is a Bing variety, they pollinate later and they come later. And this is a Brooks variety, which is an earlier variety, so they've already done their job pollinating and losing the blossom and going to leaf. And then the cherries do eventually come out, and you can see over here that the fruit is being developed now. That's all good fruit. A lot of times there's fruit in between, like the small stuff will fall off, but the bees have done their job, and that's just how we get cherries.
So how far out are these cherries on this tree from being fruit that we can eat?
Well, from pollination to picking is about 6 or 7 weeks. This one is probably a week or so ahead of the other ones, so we're still about a month out.
And then how many cherries do you expect that these trees will produce this year on average?
Well, that really varies. Some years, you can get 200 or 300 boxes, which is a light year, and then on heavy years, 700 to 800 boxes per acre.
Wow, that's
on an
quite a
acre.
bit.
Yeah. This is a light year. Last year was a very heavy year. The cherries have a tendency to alternate bear, meaning one year if they bear heavy, they generally naturally want to produce less the following year, and vice versa. If they produce less, then the following year they'll produce more. They're alternate bearing, basically, is what they call that. But that doesn't mean that a rain can't come along, and supposedly you're going to have a big crop, but the rain comes along and wipes them out too. So it's not that easy. It doesn't always work that perfectly.
Very
But that's
dependent.
generally what's what happens.
Dependent on the weather.
Yes.
So
very much
bees
so.
are extremely important in your cherry production.
Correct.
You wouldn't have fruit without the bees?
Well, we would have some fruit. We would just have less fruit because the bees do. I'm not sure it's the majority, but a good part of the pollination. The wind does some, and the bees do some, and I don't know what the percentages are, but it's a good percentage. They're very helpful. They're very helpful, and they do their job, as we will be.
So remember, kids, if you want to have more information and learn more about the fascinating world of honeybees, you can go to Nat Geo Kids. There are some fun activities on the website, or check out another website that you might find. Thanks again to Oregoni Ranch for providing this learning opportunity for us. Thank you, and be happy.